jump into it.
Pog champ, guys. Drop the poggers in chat. No more elbozos, only W's on this stream. Heat versus Sprout is underway.
We'll say one thing real quick. Heat on the CT side, so that means they won the knife. Sprout have to start on the T side, which maybe sculpts this game a little differently because Heat have the easier playing field. However, a bomb plant already settling in. Sprout yet to fire a single bullet in the direction of Heat to do damage, but they've wriggled their way into the bomb plant.
Yeah, they're going to go for that full retake. Heat happy to do that because they do have the kit on Jocko and they've got 2 flashes to work with as well. Jack's smoke flash of his own, so if they get that smoke onto the bomb, they could certainly go for a smoke defuse, and that's always very possible on pistol rounds. Afro finds one, but Stare finds a quick trade, but there is a play on the bomb. That is Jack's. He's looking for it, but he gets taken out. Lauernex with both. Afro spamming down Slacks, and actually gets the running kill, and just like that, it's down to a 2v2. The fights are thick and fast. Refresh finds the spam on one. Body takes his time on the frag towards Stare, but there's no time for the defuse. Even if he picked up that kit, there was only 1 second to go. Refresh finds the kill, and even though he goes down to the bomb, it does not matter. He gets the kill bonus, and Sprout get off to the perfect start.
Brilliant stuff from Sprout to get the pistol. I think Heat know they were very close, and I don't think there'll be a lot of hung heads in that one. I think they'll be saying, do you know what? At the end of the day, like we were, probably like 2 seconds off the defuse. The fact that we pushed it down to a 2v2 is pretty respectful. We just needed really to take a fight a little bit earlier on. They do go for a force investment here to see if they can respond to the Sprout flare. The pistol round looked good. All in all, follow-up just as important here, because if Heat are able to equalize, this game shapes up very, very differently.
Indeed. See someone in chat saying, nice Lego McLaren behind you. Thanks, man. That took me 2 days to put together. I appreciate the compliment on that one. That was a lot of fun, though. It was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed that. I was going right back to my childhood with that one. That was very enjoyable. Lovely shot from Stare to get an opening against this force buy for Heat. Of course, they're going in for the 5.7s and the Deagles and the Scout, but already they've lost 2 picks. The Galil's working out nicely. That's why the Galil is a W gun and not an L gun. According to Retro, it is an L gun.
Nah, it's not an L gun. I suck at using it, and I
fair enough.
The FAMAS. But
so you're an L player?
Yeah, if the argument is made, right, even if I have like $4,000 and I don't have enough for M4 armor util and whatever, I'll buy an MP9. Like, I'm just saying.
Fair play.
Like, I'd take a Deagle over a Galil and I'd take an MP9 over a FAMAS.
Yeah,
that's my honest view. So I find both guns just as bad as each other, but I just seem to naturally be better with the FAMAS despite it being the worst weapon. That was, yeah, I should have explained myself a little bit more.
No, it's fine.
Me.
No, it's fine. You didn't get flamed. You only got flamed in my own brain silently because I thought you were wrong. I'm kidding. I don't actually flame you. I love you. But yeah, the exercise and body, of course, looking to try and bring that utility that they have actually into the next round and give them at least something to work with from that force buy in the next, because they'll be fully ecoing probably than the other 3 players. But first sighting of Sprout on camera, of course. Refresh. Looking fresh, of course, as always.
See what you did there.
I'm not really, even trying to make that pun. It's just there, So
yeah,
you have to take them when they're there in front of you.
True.
I've been a big, hugely impressed, I've got to say, with Refresh, on the IGL role. I mean,
yeah,
making it through that RMR and only just making it to Legends as well, let alone that, is was a huge step up for them. Such a young team that we've, of course, gone into a lot of detail about. Refresh in that IGL role will happily take up that Mac 10 to get 2 opening kills, take the Galil from a teammate, not choose to peek anymore, and say to Slacks, now you go and get some money, my friend.
All right. Easy stuff. I think it was obvious that when there was a second round on the board for Sprout, they were going to make it a third, as you touched on. Refresh. I feel like a bit of a role model in some senses, right? Because obviously, under the guidance of Cadian, out in Heroic, excuse me, now he's joined Sprout. Bearing in mind, obviously, it was Cadian IGLing in Heroic. Always has been since
he's learned a lot, clearly.
Yes, and he's taken a lot of it under the wing, and he's done really well with this side, right? I think his calling has been pretty decent. I don't think there's been many glaring errors in how they've been playing. in terms of like the calling, the mid round has been pretty solid from Refresh, and he seems to have good control over his teammates, and that's very important. Something that a lot of IGLs that we see in the scene so much need to learn and struggle to kind of grasp upon is having that control, but also giving freedom. You know, don't be locked down to a default. You can't play the same position every round. Refresh wants to introduce Lao1X going in for some crazy stuff. He wants to allow Refresh himself to have a bit of space. He wants to give a lot of these players the opportunities, but he's also very cynical and very straight set when it comes to don't overextend. Let's go for a mid play. Let's execute A. He's a very good IGL in that sense, and with very little experience as well, other than what he's learned from obviously Cadian, who recently finished top 2 at a major. So, you know, Sprout clearly have learned from one of the best.
No doubt about that at all. I think the impact of, we always talk about coach impact. We spoke a lot about Godby earlier. And I will get into this more a little bit later, but I think you have to give a lot of props to Berry as well, the coach of Sprout. I mean, he's a bit of a cult legend in Danish Counter-Strike, and he's been putting his brain to work as the coach of Sprout, and I really think he's a really important factor for this team to keep them calm, keep them solid, and of course he was an IGL in the old days of the Danish scene as well. I brought up a lot of players, has Berry in Denmark. First buy round coming in. It will be Sprout, of course, on the bit of a bonus with Refresh back on the Mac 10 and a couple of Glils still in action. Now next on the all-important AK, and Afro does have his AWP, so Heet actually a pretty significant advantage in this opening gun round.
This is a nice angle from Body. It's a lot of damage done. Zyphon removed, Refresh 9 points of health. I'm wondering what gun Zyphon had. I was pretty certain it was an AK. Do they go chasing for it? 40 seconds left, so still time for Sprout ultimately to choose their move. Refresh seems to beckon over the troops as they execute towards A, happen smoke towards Donut. Pretty sure this is meant to be like kind of a CT/back sight smoke, forcing Exercise that little further out into the open. A greatly placed HG, but Exercise lines up 2. Down to a 2v4. Lao1X and Stare, 2 young guns, but what better players to have in this scenario? Stare's already cleared out B, but the problem is the bomb just hasn't got enough time. Stare's going to tell him to linger around because he's got a flank, but Exercise back and forth between the angles, trying to hold it down, spotted out the AWP,
big,
but no time. And they're going to have to save here. Plenty of cash for Sprout to rebuy, but it's integral damage done to ultimately a Heet side that can't really afford to lose these rifles.
Yeah, I mean, at least another kill is pretty important. Unfortunately, of course, Heet won't be necessarily unhappy with the damage done, but the fact they win the round is the most important thing, of course, at this stage. Exercise, that's a nice little line-up there. Slack's just walking behind Refresh, unfortunately. And, forcing Sprout into that save with 2 players up. And, of course, with the money they had left over from that previous round, with Refresh, I think, still on 6,800, I'm not mistaken, when he had that Mac 10 in the previous. Obviously, saving is actually the correct call. But a good start for Heet on their CT buys. So important, as you say, to keep that AWP up and at least 3 players survive to keep the economy strong. And they are sort of going for a little bit of a duo here with Jax and Afro. Afro appearing above the box, looking to see when Sprout make their way through the doors. There are now 3 players coming his way. Make that 4 as Lao1X joins up with them. And he does get the opening pick toward Refresh, but of course they do not know that Jax is up close.
Flashes are good, as you said. Jax was kind of the pinpoint man in that situation. You play right off the back of him. Nice shot from Zyphon. Afro responds. The AWP only good for 1. Tries to take too many angles. Lao1X and Zyphon, both of those kills slotting nicely into place. And we have Exercise and Jax to manipulate the run of play. Jax does find 1. That's the bomb drops as well. 2v2, excuse me.
Yeah, that's a really big kill. But it is, of course, the 2 young guns, Lao1X and Zyphon, looking to try and recover their situation. Bomb recovered. Some pre-fires being shot round the corner to at least show some presence. And Jack's going to have a pretty fast flank here if Sprout are not aware of this quick enough. He's got a couple of flashes as well that he could help out Exercise with. They have a kit on Exercise as well, so they have plenty of time to go for this. There's an AWP at the back there if they want to go for more of a 1-bullet, 1-kill weapon. But of course, going for a retake, you often want to stick with the rifle, so they're going to stick with that. Cubby taken up. by Lau and X. That obviously means there'll be a bit of a crossfire coming in with Zyphon. He's going to rotate round now. Goes for the timing shot, but Exercise takes him now. It's all down to Lau and X. We know that he's so amazing in these scenarios, but in the end, Exercise hits the pre-fire nicely and gets Heet a critical second round.
Really nicely done. Really nicely done from Heet. Another narrow round kind of worries me because, of course, a bomb plant. Lost bonus starting to build up a little bit now for the Sprout side as well. And that doesn't exactly scream success for the side of Heet, because sure, you get a round, but ultimately you look to the left-hand side of your screen and you look to the right, even though Sprout just lost 2 rounds consecutively, it's Heet that have to take a FAMAS, and it's Sprout with a bucket load more utility to work with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're continuing to whittle away at it, aren't they? Even though they've lost the last 2 rounds. So it's one of these little swing rounds that come in with both teams on the edge of their economy. Of course, you've got Zyphon, Stare, and Slack still on 4 digits, but control taken by Sprout. Outside B, of course. Jocko looking for the kill, but Refresh on the edge of that smoke sees the edge of Jocko, and that's a really important way to get that opening, of course. If a CT side can lock off the T side from having control of this sort of banana-esque position of the map, alongside the B doors and Jaguar, of course, then it's often very hard for a T side to get back into the round at all. Afro, some utility coming over. There is a couple of players close up, and that's a lovely shot toward Refresh, and there are no flashes coming in, which means he has free reign to take down Laurenex as well. 3v3 as Zyphon takes body, though, so the round is even.
It's looking pretty good right now. 3v3. Heet yet again taking substantial damage. 40 seconds left, smoke towards CT, and that's just going to force this Temple player out even further. It's Exercise that walks into the jaws of Stare as Jax now tries to pick up the pieces. It's a nice first kill and a second spam through the box. It's Slack's left in the 1 versus 2. I talk about his potency as an AWPer. He's not flashy, but he sure knows how to hit his shots. And this is just going to have to be another one of those. Unfortunately, Afro, quite an unorthodox angle, sitting basically on a headshot angle for Donut, and Heet will equalise. It's 3-all, but another bomb plant might just save the day. Yeah,
that bomb plant might be enough to get them a bye in this next round. We shall see. I think the lost bonus, of course, will be, I think, 3rd stage. So that bomb plant might give them a chance. Here's Afro shots toward the B-bomb site. Very nice, taking down 2 of the biggest threats on the Sprout roster. And then Jax, that was a hugely impactful 2K. I mentioned that he needs to be the one to step up, really, in this game after having a poor opening. And, of course, in general, stats have been a bit poor from Jax as of late. So it's important for him to have a good game, and that's already a couple of really impactful kills from him on this CT side. Studio phase stage, of course, as well, being played in Espoo, behind closed doors, preparing for the arena at the weekend. Looking forward to watching that one. That'll be a lot of fun.
Still a lot of questions to be answered as well, like not just because obviously it's the start of the group stage.
Nice.
Great name, by the way, from Jock. We've still got a lot of questions to be answered about Group B. Group A's only just opened up. The field is pretty vast right now, you know? Like, there's a lot of chances, there's a lot of opportunities for a team like Sprout. This is their first time playing. Heet are actually doing a decent job in keeping up. Of course, they're at the end of the day on CT side. Ancient needs to see a little more success and maybe a little more vocal and fluid and everything you need a CT side to be on this particular map.
Yep.
Mark surpassed, smoke towards top mid, and this is what I was on about. The mid-round calling here from Refresh. He's not afraid of moving his pieces about. It's a retreat from B, and it's pressure towards middle.
Yeah, often this is what you see from him. Of course, losing the opening pick to Jocko. Tasked in being the Jaguar player, of course, one of the most impactful CT anchor positions on this map. You do so much wallbang damage to the left and to the right, toward mid and toward the doors. And then the grenades can often finish off those low HP players, and that's exactly what he did to get that opening pick. Exercise on the line toward Temple with the AWP. Of course, 2 AWPs in this round, 4 Heat, and that's a really nice flash to get it started. But Body standing tall in Donut. That's a tasty donut for sure. 2 headshots on the M4, and he hit a dink on towards Zyphon as well, which Jax finishes off. Very nicely done. Elisa and X with just a Galil. Bomb dropped in the open, trying to save. If he goes down now, he'd be left on $0. So that's his only choice, and Heat are looking happy with their last 4 rounds.
Yeah, maybe a slice of concern now for the Sprout side. We'll have a wander down the aisle, focus in, the man at the end. Must admit, Trav, have you ever played in any LANs before?
I actually have not played on a LAN before. It's one of my goals to actually play on LAN connection one day.
It's not bad. It is a good time. I was going to say, right, I hate the ends. I'm a hype man, you know. I don't think there's any denying how bad I am at this video game. But at the end of the day, like, I hate sitting on the ends because having only one person to hype up and like fist bump and be like, "Yo, sit around, dude." Like,
you want to put both your arms out at once? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like that. But as well, like, I don't need much mouse room. Maybe it's tactical, you know, like maybe Slacks has the reach of, I don't know, Mr. Tickle, and he needs like all of the arm room in the world.
Oh dear, I didn't think I'd hear a Mr. Men reference on a Counter-Strike broadcast, but there we are.
Here we are.
Oh, look at the damage with grenades again. Allowing X down to 15 HP, looking for an angle above that smoke. I'm sure he'll probably give that to Galil, to a teammate now. Jocko, I think, looking for one of those little pixels that you can spot through the edge of the plywood there. Get some more chip damage done. Re-smoking it, keeping Refresh at bay, who now does have that Galil. Leonex relegated to that Tech 9, being on low HP. Jocko continuing to stand away at it. Refresh might decide to swing once he hears a reload, and there we go. He goes for it right now. But the reload is fresh, and he does get away with it, but only goes 1 for 1. So Refresh taking advantage of that sound cue was the right idea.
Yeah, a clinical play being made by Sprout, right? That's a gun in their back pocket. It's a 4v4. It's just more pressure on these remaining Sprout players, or relieved from the Sprout players and put onto Heat a little bit more so, because now, you know, A's left with only one man. You've got one single holder of middle. It's required to cover Donut. Plat, as you see, Refresh dropping down from. Leonex thinking about the same fate as well. Body continues to tap away and create distance. Nice second shot as well. Just isolating these fights, and I think the rest should just fall into place. Exercise is trying to back away. He did spot him. And Refresh left in the clutch here. 1v4. Blinds himself. Sometimes it just happens. Exercise does eventually fall, and Refresh just going to be looking to try and mop up as much as he can. 15 seconds. M4 brought back out. No ammunition. And Afro will penalise. 5-3. Heat are in front. Again, silver linings because it is CT side Ancient, and we're still pretty early on.
Yeah, that's a solid round from Heat. That's 5 in a row now, as you say. Refresh trying his best there to do as much damage as possible. I mean, I didn't even dislike the idea of pushing towards CT there, considering, you know, they could have easily taken another AWP out of the Heat hands. But in the end, trying to strafe around with it with the Glock out. Got caught on transition. Body. Smack down toward mid, gives an opportunity to throw more of this utility, and once again, poor old Leonex is bearing the brunt of it right now. Another grenade puts him down to 53. Almost the meatiest grenade possible. He'll go rushing out mid, but Body sticks around and gets that opening frag once again to give his team a 5v4. And recovering from 4v5s on T side is often very difficult, but if you've got Zypher hitting shots like that, you never know.
Yeah, there's always a spark in this Sprout lineup. We were talking about it in the pre-game, right? In sort of the build-up. There's always someone that you can lean on. If it's a Leonex, if it's a Zypher, if it's a Stair, a Slacks in that demeanor as well. Just got to clear out this angle. Brilliant shot from Zypher. That makes it his second in the round. A 3 versus 2. And so Sprout moulding themselves quite nicely here for a 4th. Just can't afford to wander into the AWP and the AK all too much here. And in the meantime, Stair, a world-renowned lurker on Vertigo, doing the exact same here on Ancient, just on the other side, just on his own, making space. And now, if Sprout are to go silent, Heat are going to second-guess themselves and might just wander right back into him.
Yeah, problem is, though, Jax is still around, and he's aware that, obviously, he can be pinched from the site itself and from Jaguar, so he's still there. Now 30 seconds to go. Bomber's been recovered. Jax is the main man here. Is he aware of these players coming into the position? They will be now. Slacks jumps into the angle. He does drop the bomb, Jax. That's probably the best he could have done. But it does give Afro all the information. He's got his kit picked up. But of course, it's an AWP on a retake. Has Zypher and Stair to face with a resmoke available for Stair as well. This is tough.
Very, very tough. And that bomb, It won't be stopped. Afro's got a retake to take care of. I mean, he does have a kit. In a 1v2, the climate is just going to be too much here. Already 2/3 of the way burnt away. Afro's probably got about 10 seconds now to get on it. There's your first. And your second is very far away, but Afro thinks he's the other direction. As soon as he hears the flashbang, he knows there's no chance of me being able to run back onto site and defuse in time. And Stare will just let that bomb cook to full capacity. It's Sprout up to a 4.
Yeah, that was a really nice try from Afro in the end, right? He takes the gamble that the final player in Stare is actually toward, T-spawn rather than towards CT spawn. And then he, obviously, when he's not there, he can then take the opportunity to run away and save, right? So it's a two sort of pronged idea of if he's here, I have a chance at the defuse and the clutch. If he's not here, then I go off and save. Unfortunately, if Afro had a smoke, he would absolutely be jumping on that one and trying to give it a go for sure, but not to be. Afro has a little bit of a run boost with the AWP, and he's actually going to be here pretty quickly. And Slacks, even though he's holding the angle, might not expect him to be up close to the right. So I believe he was watching it. Afro's going to continue to push here, but Zyphon destroys him. Oh, that run boost was a great idea, but Zyphon is too street smart.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll let it simmer at that. 5-4 the scoreline. A 5-on-4 though for Sprout to try and equalise. Of course, they're going through some financial trouble themselves. It's a double Galil setup. Really haven't seen a rifle v rifle buy. There's always someone with some disadvantage. And Zyphon just to bring the numbers further in favour. The AWP wanders into Body. Got to be careful because he's legged up. An unfortunate miss for the AWP of Slacks, but either way, I think the rifler in on Cubby should be penalised any moment now.
Oh.
Nicely done. Body actually finding another before he goes down. Refresh thought he had it all covered, but a brilliant reaction there from Body. Just doing more damage to a side that, doesn't really have everything in check financially, so it's important, these kills.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Body actually really did an amazing job to get one more kill there. Again, Jax even went 1-for-1 with his FAMAS. That's really as much as you can ask of him. And couldn't make anything more happen after that. Heat's coach giving it the big up right now, of course. I believe that is Matend, if I'm not mistaken. Bit of a legend, of course. Used to coach, I think, LDLC back in the day.
There you go. Some lore.
Check. Yeah, it was LDLC. That was right. Used to play for LDLC as well, I think, for a little bit.
Now he just stands behind Heet and tells them what to do. 4 times a game for 30 seconds.
There you go.
And probably a lot more behind the scenes. That was not a dig at coaches, because I think everyone knows how hard it is to be a coach. You know, you don't even have to be one to understand. A lot more behind the scenes. Slacks. Oh my word, dude. There's a stampede out towards A. You can't face the AWP there. It's got to be a Glock, and they give up an AWP for it. That 100% is going to get saved. Stare lurks around, and it's a brilliant double refresh. A third. A smoke dropped in. And, well, they have just saved everything there. Heat walking away with an AWP is probably the best outcome to the round, but still, what could have been a very, very topsy-turvy round. Nice little movement there. Afro maybe even spotted a leg, I'm not too sure. X-ray can be quite misleading sometimes.
Yeah.
Either way, this round will be going the way of Sprout.
Yeah, I'm just watching it back on stream now and seeing just Slacks completely alone, getting stampeded down. I mean, even through the X-ray, I think you knew that Slacks was not long for this world. Thankfully, though, when I say thankfully, it's a bit of a weird decision, actually, to have made. Refresh has got an AWP as well on T side. Pretty sure picked up from the CT side. So, yeah, it's a bit often you see 2 AWPs on T side Ancient, but of course, now they've lost Slax's, they can just drop that straight back to him and Refresh and go back to the rifle. So, no issue. AWP saved for Heat. Goal completed after running Slacks down.
If I'm honest with you, Trav, I'd like to see a different approach taken by Heat. I feel like it's very default-esque, you know? We haven't gone for like a fast B control play. We haven't gone for like a double take in middle and a fast peek up towards B. Like, we haven't tried much to counter a default here from Sprout. It's just been very basic. Lob your smokes, lob your mollies. This is more like it. Jocko getting aggressive is exactly what I wanted from them.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, they've managed to lock out Sprout behind these smokes on the B doors, and that just gives you so much map control as a CT side. It's almost impossible to get anything back if you have control of this portion of the map, this sort of long corridor. And the only way to fight your way through usually is from mid, and with some flashbangs from the door. And there you go. Slacks finds Jax. That's a nice little rhyming one for the rest of this game, if we can fit that in somehow. But that's a really important opening pick for him to find, because it does make it back into a 4v4. Zyphon dropping 2, so... Grenade again. So many of these grenades have been spot on, haven't they? And Body, just spamming on the edge of that smoke. On the fadeaway almost, manages to find Slacks. And with refresh 12 HP, Heet in pole position in this round by a few tenths.
Just a few. Certainly can be brought back for Sprout. If we're going to continue the F1 analogy. They are the faster car. Definitely the quicker reactions as well. We've seen some very nice shots. Afro just quicker to the trigger though there. It's an AWP, and when it's posted on an angle, especially in cave, you know, you only need to look in one direction. Realistically, you don't even need to move the mouse. They just kind of wander in and the rest lines up. 2v4. A bomb plant's good. Refresh gone. Now LionX needs some magic, and there's your first shot, but it comes at a cost of everything but 10 points of health, and the rest will be removed from him. So, a pretty easy one for Heet, but a bomb plant might just go the distance here for Sprout. They certainly have chances to rebuy. LionX is going to get the water back in the system, ready to farm in the next round.
Absolutely. Stay hydrated, boys and girls. Very important. Yeah, that kill Body was big. Dropped the bomb as well, which gave them so much information just in general about the plan of Sprout. LionX, of course, then gave it a good try, but both angles of the pillar were being taken up. There was no chance to do any more than that. It's all, we're level. I think Sprout will be happy with the two teams so far.
Certainly. I mean, 6 rounds T side is pretty respectful in that sense. So, yeah, decent start for Jax in this round though. Heat man up, Stair low HP once again. Exercise punish and Slacks on the AWP. This round's looking Heats. There should be no way they lose out.
You never know. Zyphon can often pop off and just get a couple of entries. You know, crack open a bomb site, get an after plant, and things can spiral after that. But obviously, with Exercise choosing to not show himself at any point, it's a pretty difficult one to face. And makes you wonder at this point, even so early on, with the health on Stair and Slacks and the money situation, do you choose to save? I mean, I don't know. I think that I would still want to see them go for this because, one, Heat's economy isn't built up too much anyway, so any damage would be valuable. And two, they're pretty sure that they're on a decent stage loss bonus, Sprout, as well. I think they're on, second or third stage still, maybe second stage. So they'd have some money to glean at least. I think they are going to go toward A. Exercise peeks into the open, but there we go. Zyphon hits the head that I mentioned. 30 seconds. What's the call?
I don't know. Low HP for all of these players. There we go. Starting to punish. Jax finds Slacks, but Zyphon is able to trade. Stair again, just running rings around B as Body collects another. That's Zyphon removed. And, well, unfortunately, Jocko has not been cleared from K. And this will be the end of the round here and now. Stair, he did the right thing, right? You're trying to chase the rotations. They just didn't expect the player out in cave. And ultimately, Heat win another. Fist bumps all around as they take the lead.
Yeah, that was really well played by Jocko. He realised that Stair had pushed all the way through. I think he may even have heard some of the footsteps as well. And as you so rightly say, taking the initiative when you're low HP and in a man disadvantageous situation, you want to try and take something back as quickly as possible. And Jocko realised that the bomb was alone and he played that to perfection. A day late and $1 short on that one. And they're certainly $1 short on this round, are Sprout. They're basically on a full eco other than LionX's Zyphon, sorry, with the Kevlar and Refresh with a couple of flashes to help out.
Body. Ooh. Oh, my words. Zyphon. Buy a lottery ticket, man. How many times is that bullet millimeters from his head and he's just not been hit? M4 of Body trying to punish. I mean, certainly the right idea. Just not performing. I was going to mention, yet again, Body, I'm not sure if you clocked there, 17 and 9
Yeah.
Individual performance yet again here. He's just a great day in the office. Sometimes it is just that way, you know, you feel it on the day. Doing a really good job.
Yeah. Feel it on the day, but will it be all right on the night? That is the question. There could even be an elimination, of course, in a very rough situation. Hopefully, for Heat's sake, they can build up these final last 2 rounds of this CT half and work with a 9-6. Nice leg shot by Afro, and actually goes ahead of that because he knows Jocko is here. Helps him out with the P250, and in the end, he is the one to get that final kill. Jocko with 2 of his own. That's exactly how you do it, Heat. Stick together and keep it tight. And as you so rightly say, it's a good performance again from Jocko and once again from Body. What's your opinion on the Heat logo? I know it's a bit of a Marmite logo, the Heat one. What's your opinion?
I don't know. I'm not a hater of it.
Me neither.
I don't mind it. But do you remember the old Heat logo?
That was a bit crazy.
That was, yeah. So I think it's an upgrade.
It is, for sure.
And that's I'll leave it at that.
9-6, yes or no?
Do you know what? Yeah, I reckon Heat do have it.
Gotcha. Afro in position toward Donut. Ash coming in, that'll push him off the angle. Tries to take a timing shot, but has to fall away. He's blind for almost the full 3 or 4 seconds there. But Lauren X, straight through the CT door smoke. He's really got an opportunity now, but look where Exercise has gone, and that's a beautiful flanking 2K from him. Now, really, Lauren X is the main man. He has to make a play off the back of this because Stair's been taken down as well. Where is Lauren X right now? He's looking for his kill toward Body, but he can't find it. Body's too aware. And Refresh in that position as well is left stranded. And that should be it.
Nine 6 looking very likely. Refresh once again. Left in the clutch. This time, no right-hand man to try and help out. And it's against the entirety of the Heat side. So 9-6 at the half-time whistle. Sprout certainly look good. I mean, T-side Ancient, you're bound to be at the lower end, but a great first half display. Can they get things
played in this tournament against Big earlier on, so they'll be more settled. And Sprout now, CT side Ancient, let's see what they can do. Fast pistol round coming in.
Yes, certainly. I think Heat have done better than what I thought they would have here in the first half. A showcase to the start of the second is Afro nailing a shot onto Siphon Slacks. Thought he was hitting a ridiculous adjustment then, but it's Stair from behind him that's able to help out. Lauernex is going to hear all the steps. Jocko, does he clear out the angle? Well, he has to now because that's the bomb dropped as well. Lauernex, brilliant time to just poise the USPs. Looking for his hat-trick. It will be denied. Exercise running out of ammunition. And now it's just Jax against 3. Bomb on the other side of the map. Everything here to do.
Yeah, there's anyone that could do it with a quick, snappy aim. It can always be Jax, but of course you've got to take into consideration that he doesn't have Kevlar with his P250 this time. He is going to be very squishy, and Slack has taken up a perfect angle. If Jax checks this close right position, he's a bit of a legend, and there you go. He chooses left instead. That's the problem. You have to choose between one or the other, and he gambles incorrectly. That's why you don't gamble, kids. Pistol round in the favour of Sprout.
Yeah, I think it's quite obvious that they deserve that as well. I mean, the retaliation in the mid-play there in general was really, really nice. And yeah, ultimate goal for them, of course, now is to play that game of chase. They've got themselves set up. Money's going to be okay. Now it's just about making sure that they convert with it. Round number 17, it's just pistols here for Heat. They want AKs in the next.
Indeed, that is the way to go, usually. The current meta, have that one save. Pistol round gets you 2 rounds. Remember when it used to be 3, of course, and it was almost a guaranteed double eco back in the old days of the economy. I think the economy probably right now, other than the fact that Ts can often get a better buy with a pistol bomb plant than the CTs can. I think there's nothing really much wrong with the economy at the moment. Pretty well set. It's been for a number of years now. That's the only thing that I would criticise it for, being a bit T-favoured in that sense. Siphon looking to farm away with the FAMAS and the headshot angle against the Glocks. Of course, Jax has that one deagle, but he'll be tapped down as well. And Refresh wants a bit of the money for himself. MP9 going in, looking to get a bit of an easy pre-fire. Exercise is trying to switch to that deagle, but he gets caught in the switching transition. And just Jocko and Body left to farm.
Yeah, see if you can make some extra money from it. I think that's all that's needed here. For CT side, they got off to a brilliant start here in the pistol. for one more. Refresh, there you have it. Stare the other. And that'll be Sprout onto 8. So the gap's starting to minimize a bit here. And obviously expected after a pistol loss, after the eco, you're going to lose both. This is now the real litmus test. This is the full buy.
Exactly. And, you know, this is another reason why you go for that full eco and get the AKs in the third, is you maybe want to play against the bonus buy and look exactly what they have to play against now. 2 MP9s, 2 MSs, and just 1 M4. No AWP yet either. That's why you go for that strategy sometimes. If it's the opposite, it can be a bit more of a toss-up, whether you force buy or save for the silenced M4s in the third. On the T side, usually without the bomb plant, this is the way to go. And this is obviously now puts them at a significant weaponry advantage. How does Sprout look to counteract that? How close do they want to get in the faces of Heet? Do they want to try and run them down with the high movement speed and accuracy of the MP9? They can manage to boost Xiphon up on the edge there. You can self-boost off the sign on that little edge, of course. They're going to group back in Donut as a duo. Leave Long alone for the moment.
Minute. Still enough time for Heet to make, obviously, the ultimate moves to sight. I think this is going to be a split towards A. You know, mid-control, you wouldn't take that without your end goal being the A site. With the bomb being there, lots of players around. Sprout, I think, starting to realise that this could be an issue as well. And so they go hunting. A missed mid-smoke. Wondering if Refresh can use it to his advantage. Low HP, Afro. Got to be careful. Got to play a game of catch now. Slacked going to be doing a lot of damage to the HE. And on top of that as well, they swing out and they start to farm the frags. Heet, despite having the mid-control, I think it all fizzles out here.
Oh, Jax is in a good position, though. I think he knows there's a player behind the default bot. The problem is only 20 seconds to go. Tap's being done. Jax has to strafe away. He's being chased down now by the MP9, and Slayer gets it. But the time that Jax has wasted activates Exercise. And with barely any time left on the clock, I'm pretty sure those kills had to be taken, Retro. Where was the bomb in that scenario? That is a cheeky grab there by Heet.
Unreal. I don't know how they managed to get away with this round. Great job.
Okay, I think the bomb would have gone down, but yeah, that was important kills for sure.
10-8. Heat still in front, surviving on the T side. For Sprout, run on their last limbs financially before they get reset, because a round loss here puts them to null and void. A great opening kill from Slack. Xiphon from the aerial angle to support as well. Drops back off. Jocko will be left responseless. 4v2 and a Refresh amidst all of this hasn't even been gutted out. He decides to back away though.
Yeah, a little hop, skip and a jump back into Temple. Body trying to tap away the player behind the default box, but not to be. Sprout have stabilised instantly after that previous slightly messy round. Jocko and Body still have a bit of util though, so you never know. If they can just get one pick, they can maybe get a smoke down and get a molly down to stop any rotations, and they could get their way back into this round with Refresh low as well.
Oh, Stare, toying with the Heat boys. I'm just trying to get the info, really. Yeah, it's a nice one because it's kind of like the jump spot on like Mirage in B-Apps, right? Is that you jump, you're revealing very little of yourself, but you just get direct vision down the entirety of mid. And in this case, it's just a lot to handle here. Smoke, feel like that's got a gap in the right-hand side. 20 seconds, though. Body's going to try and make the transition back over towards A. Refresh. Advanced angle. He's able to cipher out the first. It's Jocko here against 4. Bomb in his back pocket. 10 seconds left. He's all too wary of the double pull push here. Refresh does get taken down. 4 seconds. It has to be stuck. He actually does let him plant, but the kill comes in anyway. So at least it's extra money here for Heat, but a 9th round conceded.
I could have been a little bit spooky there, but in the end, as you say, the plant's a pretty decent success considering the position that they found themselves in there. Heat. And Refresh with that advanced position toward the mid entrance, as he was such a huge angle to hold, actually. I mean, you're not going to expect that in a million years, late round. 200 IQ stuff from Refresh. Everyone looking very calm still. Calm, composed. Quick tactical timeout coming in. 10 giving a chat, of course. If one team goes for a tech timeout, or a tactical timeout, sorry, and of course the other team can have a chat as well. There's Berry calling the shots. There's a lot of information in that header piss.
Years of experience that we touched on earlier, right? He's been, as you said, the legend, right, of like Danish Counter-Strike. Kind of feels like the Fallen of Denmark. I mean, sure, maybe not in the coaching capacity, right? Because Fallen has literally never coached. But you know what I mean? Like, he's been around the block, loads of experience.
Like a father figure.
Different teams. Yeah, and you know what? He's competed at a pretty high level for a little while now in coaching positions. So
yeah, absolutely.
He's got a lot of knowledge to share, as you said. But not really much to discuss in this round. It's the pick and mix buy coming out once again. Tech 9s, P250s, Deagles, Galils, whatever really you can afford within the $2,500-ish bracket to give you a buy in the next. He just want to get this one over and done with so they can move forward and provide full power heading into round 21.
Yeah, they're looking to at least do some damage because they have got this Galil on exercise. And with Sprout's economy having not been built up whatsoever, I mean, as you can see, there's 2 players barely on anything at all. And, 2 or 3 kills would be pretty impactful in this particular round. And yes, I mean, I remember casting Berry as a player a couple of times when he was, as a stand-in, and even when he was as a player. Do you remember the OPA roster, OPAA, in a couple of the qualifiers? They
fire at one point.
Exactly, right? They really shocked a couple of the more established teams to qualify for a couple of those events as that name, and good damage being done by Heet. I mentioned that is the goal of this round, and they managed to get a trade in with Exercise's Galil. Jax has this M4 picked up. The Exercise is making a lot of move. About to say, making a lot of noise, and Refresh has a freebie there. So Jax has a chance. With Stair really low, if you can take the initiative and at least go for one of these kills straight away, then there's a little sniff in this one. You get the high HP player drills in first. He takes Laurenex out. Stair, the low HP player, is tapping the bomb. Flash comes in, but Refresh says no and takes him as he glances away from that flash. Well played, Refresh, to stop any hope of that one. NT Jax, but not to be. Good round from Sprout.
Decent damage by Heet, though, and another bomb plant. If you want to look at silver linings, if you want to look at the positives of that round, is that, yet again, it's a round in which Heet kind of bring it close. I mean, in the sense that it's as close as you like without winning it. Sprout realizing this, it's another timeout, right? It's 10-all. It's a time that you can't afford to make mistakes, especially with Sprout having won 2 rounds in a row. There's like $3,000 combined between the players. Like, it really isn't good looking in terms of the money right now. For Heet as well, maybe it's not going to be as good as well, but they have more reliability with bomb plants, with the loss bonus. There's a lot of things pointing in their right direction for the up. Let's see if things go well. It's another timeout, of course, as I said, for Sprout.
3 out of 4.
Quick chat. Yeah, they've still got chances to take another one, but obviously, I think they just want to get this one over and done with as quick as they can. So a timeout here to try and set themselves up ready for a full buy.
My 16-11 prediction is still possible. I'm holding out for it. I can assure you, we don't have a script. We do have a script. That is a lie, but it is a run-of-show script, not a match-up script. So, I could still be right.
It's not the tier 2 Counter-Strike that you thought we provided. Natural Counter-Strike gaming.
Did Jax he did?
Yes.
Straight through the smoke.
He did do that. Laurenex is able to bring the numbers back down, so despite a pretty flashy first kill, it actually means nothing. Oh my god, he nearly goes 2 for 2 in spamming and finding kills, as it is a very low HP Refresh. 5 points of health.
Yeah, this is a good game from Jax so far. He's getting the one-for-ones that he should have done on the previous side. He's getting some of the cheeky kills as well, and Body is stepping up again. He stepped up hugely in the previous game, and there's the quick-fire headshot from Jax. Body says, okay, I'll do it myself. Gets both entries, and Jax is there as his backup, as his insurance policy to force Slacks into a save.
I mean, it had to be, didn't it? Is an AWP. You can't run that in on a 1v3 and expect a good outcome. you've got to treat it, excuse me, like a James situation, you know? Would
Yeah,
James
of
go for
course.
this? I mean, the one time he did, he
not.
won, but he would not. And so for Slacks, it's about keeping that, because of course the topic of conversation I had at the start of this round was Sprout actually bottomed out financially. This is as poor as they've looked in a little while.
This is dangerous now.
$11,000 to spend between all 5 of them, you know? It's just not good.
Yeah. This is dangerous now. This is very dangerous now for Sprout. Economy broken at the worst possible time, really, for them. There's that spam from Jax that I mentioned, and here's the 2k entry from Body. It's the second shot that means everything, and that was just perfectly timed to take down Laurenex. He gets taken down here by Zyphon, but insta by Jax. And that gives them a great shot now. They're going to go for a force buy around this AWP, but if this fails, it'll be 12-10 with Heet staring at 13. It's starting to get questionable.
Definitely a close affair for Sprout. Something maybe they weren't expecting. You said maybe they were warming into it a little bit. It was going to take time for Sprout to wind up to full potential, which, you know, fair assessment. Sometimes it does.
They are fallible to this. We've seen them lose some funny games, haven't we, in the past? The Sprout roster, they are still a bit hit and miss, and look at that. Stare, okay.
What?
Gives Jocko no chance. That's what I mentioned about that Jaguar position. Wall bangable on the left and the right. No shot in that one.
Fair enough. I mean, what can you do?
See you next round.
Yeah, one of those, isn't it? Like, you don't even misplay there if you're Jocko. You just want to sit there for control. And the fact that you've been spammed down so easily by Stare, it's, yeah, a little disgusting.
Okay.
Speaking of, Laurenex.
One.
Popping heads with the Deagle has made noise in rotation, and that lulls them into a full sense of security. Like A needed backup, it didn't. There was the AWP already there. Laurenex eventually goes down. Slacks' gun barrel. Well, sorry, Afro's gun barrel. I don't know where it Slacks from. Is spotted. I was going to say the AWP of Slacks still on site. Holding the angle down, burning to the molly, and that means it's a complete overlook from Afro. While he does find the AWP, it's just another one picked up. It's Body against 3, and Zyphon. You know, not normally an AWP, but I think he's plugged enough times and picked up enough AWPs during the games to know how to use it, and it will be a collection. And Sprout, off the back of an eco, will equalise.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, I've said that this sort of full force buy, evening out the economy, could certainly still be dangerous. And you have to wonder now whether that 2k Body entry with that Jax, smoke bang, is that repeatable? And it makes, after seeing around like that, you're thinking maybe not, because Sprout just eat them up one by one on the following defensive round. And yeah, I think right now Zyphon is putting in a brilliant performance, as you say. 21 and 15, second in the server to Body. I feel like everyone's been second in the server to Body so far today, so
yeah,
fair play.
Does feel it. Great game here so far, may I say. Sprout Heat was always going to be fireworks, and maybe we had a different opinion on how it was going to go, but certainly we knew it was going to be a banger. I mean, Body's what? He's really popping off here. Yet, overall today, in the big matchup specifically, he was a clear contender, and yet again, delivering. Smoke, wallbang, headshot. Body allows Stare to bleed in a first kill that goes Heat's way. An important kill at that.
Yeah, good stuff. I can tell you that on the B stream, Ents have taken down Havu 16-12 in a battle of the Finnish organisations, of course. So Ents are off the board. Say stream B is what I actually meant. So, and a B at the top of your screen if you want to see the other matches, of course, in Group A. Not as easy to get your A's and B's mixed up, but I'll try and keep it as simple as possible for you. Another critical opening pick for Heat. Zyphon, advanced angle toward Exercise, and an easy frag as Exercise shifts into that one. Body trying to respond, but he's got 2 players close up. Are they going to go for a double swing? They are, and that's perfect timing. Perfect timing. Could not have been better. Laurenex gets his, Slacks gets his as well. And Laurenex will even make it a second. Jocko will drop. Afro left 1 versus 4. Swung on by Slacks. Slacks asserts some dominance. And the fist bumps tell you how they feel about that one.
Yeah, pumped up 100%. I don't think there's any way you aren't. Body, a great first kill, but the fact that it means for nothing, a great double swing here from LoweNX and Slacks, as you touched on. Heet just getting dismantled by teamwork. Sprout ahead. A hop, skip, and a jump to 16 at this point, and it all starts facing off against the Nico here from Heet, so it should be 13-11, and the chances really are starting to minimise.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. I have some unfortunate breaking news for you over this pistol round, and I think you exactly know what I'm about to say.
Yes.
Crims, unfortunately, will not be playing for Fnatic in Espoo. He has an unfortunate hand injury, something to do with, I think, a trapped nerve or something that's creating some fluid or something. So, unfortunately for him, it will be Pepsor from Fnatic Rising to stand in for Crims. So, unfortunate for him, but I still believe Fnatic will be pretty strong at this event, even despite that. So, just let's wait until we see them play tomorrow before we hold out judgment. Unfortunate for Crims, hopefully we'll see him back very soon.
I will say one thing, and as mean as it sounds, I think it's a very honest and valid opinion, is if there is ever a time to have that injury, it would be now. Because he's got all of the time in the world to recover, right? Yep. And reset over the Christmas break. So yeah, absolutely. Zyphon might need to recover from a different hand injury because it's like playing aim labs. He's got kills all over the plot that he needs to take care of. He does well enough to find two. Jocko and Jax now left in the 2v3. And to be fair to Heet, they've done pretty good in terms of the damage department, but you all knew the favourites to win that round, and indeed they do convert as per. It's Sprout that lead, and you can see already the hype getting pretty excited here because there's every opportunity. And there you go. Berry, tapping Stare on the shoulder, drops the old T for timeouts and slammed straight into it. Berry wants to let his vocal cords warm up a little bit more here. Where's our issues? Let's push forward. You can see on the hand movements, he's like, do you know what? I'm happy. It's the open palm. Yep. It's assertive and respectful. Same thing can be said here on the flip side. Heet, you can see maybe scrabbling for a few ideas. What can we do? What are the reactions that Sprout are taking? How can we beat them? Let's get ourselves back into this because it's another close game. Heet had every opportunity to beat Big earlier on, and I think they'll know about that and want to push for this matchup here. A more important one against Sprout.
Yeah, exactly. And my 16-11 prediction is getting ever closer. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Scary.
Shall see.
What did I say? 16-7?
You did, yeah. So we'd still get the same result, correct? Just, you know, slightly different score. All good.
Yeah, it's okay. To be honest, I don't know why I said what I said, because Heet did a really good job against Big. I just expected Ancient to be a bit of a blowout. And in all honesty, I think how Sprout have sort of conducted themselves on the CT side, it's looked very one-sided as of right now. Yeah. However, I will say Heet had a brilliant start to their game as well. And yeah, unfortunate. It's that one pixel angle that Stare was going to try and abuse, but just got banged straight back through it.
Oh, that's yeah, classic HE grenades in Counter-Strike moment. Not much about that. Just catches that one little 90-degree angle where it bounces straight back in toward him. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Of course, it's AKs after all. If you get insta headshot, it doesn't matter either which way of it. Jax close up. Two players on the Heet side looking to try and get a bit closer to that. And Sprout were looking to try and get a bit closer as well. Just creeping up toward the edge there. And in the end decides to fall away from that. Stare rotating in toward the A-bomb site. And with refresh in tow as well. The fact that Heet have almost the entirety of mid may have made that call for them. They're going through CT. And the doors toward that position with 30 seconds to go. It's still a 5v5 on the table.
Yes. Every opportunity now that he just has to go with what is presented. Sprout, in isolation. LoweNX, a very important frag, takes down Exercise, but do they expect body? Does Stare anticipate a second peek? Of course he does. LoweNX has found Jocko in the meantime. Wow. This could be flawless. Jax to deny, but LoweNX just jumps right through the smoke. And you can tell he stops instantly. He's going to be so hyped because it's a stupid play. It's a gimmick that might just cost Heet the game.
Oh my goodness, LoweNX going hard on this one. That was pretty sick from him. Exactly what we expect from a youngster like him. Quick fire, zoomer-like kills, and that was most certainly a way to finish the round. Leaps through, knowing where the last player is, and look at him. He is most certainly confident. Saw the interview, of course, recently with him saying that, he gets his name, considering he's a huge fan of FNX. So he used the beginning of his name and just put NX at the end, Lau NX. You can say Laux as well, but I don't think he minds either which way of it from what my understanding, pronunciation-wise. But it doesn't matter. However the hell you pronounce his name doesn't change the fact that he is a nutter. Great player and one for the future for a long time. I've touted him as a future phase player one day. Maybe in a couple of years. Gotta keep up, stay humble, get some results on teams like this, and see where you go from there.
Heat playing for overtime, by the way. A note that we can take from this round is that they're on an eco. I don't think there's any change in the result of this round here. I think Sprout are going to be very on course for 15. Smoke will be deployed, refresh. Given a bit of space to work with. Stair's actually going to get smoked off, decides to push through, drops one of his own. I like that reaction from Stair. He's playing passive, right-click the smoke in front of you. Now, if Heat want to go towards CT, they either have to wait for the smoke or push into Stair. And the one that they threw into deep CT is completely null and void. They'll throw a second one. Slax is holding things down, but of course now he's smoked off. But already the damage has been done, right? There's a third player that's rotated in and Stair's on the job of holding things down. It's a nice first shot, tries to back away. Jocko nails refresh in the meantime. And now it's just Zyphon. Needs to hit a couple of kills. The heads are rolling, but it's all in favor of Heat. And the eco might just be successful.
Oh my goodness, you say playing for overtime. I'm sure not even they would have expected a round into recovery like this. Slax is going to get caught off by Jocko's long-range angle as well. And just like that, Valornex is forced to run away and save the AWP. Can you believe it? Ridiculous deagle shots there from Heat. I mean, I mentioned earlier that even back in the double pody days, they would win rounds like this and often cause teams problems by consistently winning these low buys. And it still happens occasionally. They still hit these banger shots, which can cause teams problems. And now Valornex is going to have to run away with that. Money's in an okay state, so he can afford to take some of these players down if he really wants to. Slax can afford to buy that AWP, and that shot toward Jax is beautiful. It looks like they will keep it saved. And Heat staying alive. And I always say if you keep a team on 14, you always have a chance. And they did great work of that in this one.
The fact that it was an eco, I feel a little bit unlucky for Zyphon because he shoots prematurely thinking it was going to be a mad swing from body, but he kind of slows himself down before he peaks the angle. And so Zyphon just fires prematurely in just a panic. They force Sprout to suffer some consequence. Notice as well, Zyphon picking up a second AWP here for Sprout. So maybe already desperation starting to settle in here, I'm not too sure.
Oh, Zyphon needs to be careful. They're coming his way, and they line up, of course. We question the secondary AWP purchase, and guess what happens? It's not even both AWPs to get a kill. It's just one AWP with two. Body and Exercise will be thinking to themselves, oh no, we've lined up at the worst possible time and the worst possible position. Of course, you can't expect an AWP there in a million years, but that is unfortunate. Great stuff from Zyphon.
So, silence. Dead silence. Jax swings in. Beautiful shot. And that's going to bring the odds slightly back down to a more neutral standpoint. It's Sprout that still stand with a man advantage, but a key engagement here. But Slax wins it out. A 4 versus 2. They did the hard part and winning on the eco, but now that they have rifles, Heat just can't seem to crack the armor here that Sprout put up. Body 28 and 19, another masterclass, and it just seems to be it's not going to be enough.
Oh, it would be. Is Body once again gonna fall in a beer 1 despite putting in what is a server leading performance? Goodness me. That is very unfortunate for him. Jax is having a bit of a better performance than the previous map as well. He's had a couple of really impactful kills. Sure, 15 and 21 doesn't look great, but it's the individual impact in certain rounds which counts, and he's had a couple of really important ones in this game. But yeah, hasn't necessarily been helped out. Here's the collateral. Slow motion as well. Ah, yes. Sign me up. Sprout are on to 15. One away from opening up their Espoo campaign with a victory.
Harsh reality starting to settle in, I think, here for a bit. Heat realising probably more of a chance in the big game than they did here. Things look so good at one point. Similarly to this game, especially that previous round, right? Not the one just gone, but the one before it, where they were on pistols and push A and win the round. Like, that could have been the spark to something spectacular. Instead, kind of fizzles out straight afterwards. Lauenex, that is cheeky. Right through the mid-smokes there. A second exercise. Sure, the response is there, but a 4v3 trap goes from bad to worse here for Heat. I don't think they stand much of a chance in the rest of this game. And I feel like it's going to end 16-12.
Yeah, maybe I'll be one round off of the prediction. In the end, I have the Eagles to blame for that being the case. They're creeping in. Jack's holding the angle. Okay, we're still alive. Jack's holding the default position. Of course, that tight angle you can hold above the box through the doors. Gets himself another headshot. Back into a 3v3. 45 seconds on the clock remaining. Utility's still in a good state as well for Heat. They've got 2 smokes, a molly, a couple of flashes as well. That's enough to entry on toward a site.
Definitely. 3v3. Certainly doable. Mollies, everything. It's going to be launched at the B play. Refresh needs to hold on. Slacks is on rotation. He's coming out from mid. Got to be careful. Doesn't check the doors. Afro's able to just wriggle in for the kill. Exercise survives. Refresh can't penalise the bomb plant. And a whisker away from losing has just rejuvenated the side of Heat. Sprout, 2 versus 3. I mean, do they even look to go for this one? It's difficult to say. They are actually moving forward. Refresh isn't backing away from an initial fight. He's trying to jump around, trying to bait out a peek, and Afro will give it. And he does indeed deliver with the AWP as he finds another. 3K in the round. And the shot at Espoo starts to open up once more for Heat.
Espoo, the location for the Elisa Masters, of course, and Heat. Very close game in that opening match against Big. Just fell at the last second, and now they're making it very close against Sprout as well, but they need to win these final 2 remaining rounds to take us to OT. But they may have a shot at it. Look what Sprout are doing. They're playing for round 30. USP on refresh. Zyphon has 4750. He's basically fully saving, but for a P250, so they can guarantee the AWP to be available in the next round. Lauenex going for the MP9. One of the most powerful guns in the game right now, so you never know, but we're headed toward 15-14 here.
Certainly coming down to the wire. Sprout realising money better kept into the next. Understandably so. Can't not forgive them for taking an eco in number 29. And actually, I like this. Getting inventive with this. You know, they're going 4 towards B. Unfortunately, exercises dropping some utility towards A. That molly. Does it burn him? No. Survives. Exercise. Might just wander right past and a double headshot. Now they're going to be calling. That's an M4 given away on A. Heat's reaction. They don't freeze, but they don't exactly let it loose. Instead, now Refresh going to rotate around and has a crossfire with Lauenex. A nice tag up, but it's fruitful for the MP9, who does get mollied. Slacks his P250, can't find much. And what was a man up to 2 men down, a 2v4 that Sprout can't recover. It's Zyphon against the lot. Afro will fall. It's an AWP. He's scooped, but it's Jocko to deny. 14-15.
Oh, it's scary, especially when Refresh got that opening kill with the USP and had that free M4. He could have easily taken that kill in toward the CT push, and it could have changed the complexion of the round. But in the end, Heat recover it all. And now I just need to grind out one more T round to get us to OT. I believe it would be our first overtime of Espoo.
Would be. Do you know how savage it would be if it wasn't like overtime and it was just a draw? You get 1 point.
Yes.
It's not a loss.
Like the old Pro League system back in the day.
Yeah. It would be savage because Heat, off the back of having a close game with Big, to play Sprout and draw would have been massive. But of course, in the Espoo, there can only be one. And if we do need it, overtime is there, but Sprout still have one more chance to close the show in regulation.
Stay confident to continue going for those wall bangs on the left and the right. So much damage can be done in that position on Jaguar. Sax holding a more normal angle, like the one that Zyphon was pushed up on earlier. So he got that collateral. Default utility coming in toward mid, body throwing that in. Another close game. No game has been easier than 16-12 so far in Espoo. Oh, hello. 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 Oh, he had his chance. He had his chance at what would have been an amazing boost in round 30, but he slides off at the worst possible time. And in the meantime, a pick comes through for Sax as well. Was that their chance?
That could have been massive. Instead, the round opens back up for the taking. Slacks will sell the play. Refresh. Waits patiently. It's another kill. Sprout are starting to form. It took them 30 rounds, but 30 shall be enough. It's Afro against 4. And with 4 points of health, one bullet will be the difference. It's another close bout. It's another heartbreak for him.